Hey guys, Justin here. Now we're going to talk about assessing our casualty's level of responsiveness. So this is important for several reasons. One of the most important reasons is because this is documented in our S block, our signs and symptoms on our DD Form 1380. So the first thing we're going to do is approach our casualty, right? We're going to talk about this in a mnemonic format that we refer to as AVPU. And AVPU stands for alert, verbal stimuli, painful stimuli, and unresponsive, AVPU. So to assess our casualty and see if they are alert, I would do something like, hey Jack, hey buddy, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And if he responds, if he sits up, if he gives us a thumbs up, then we know that patient is alert. If we assess him and we do not get any response during our A phase, we're going to move on to our V, our verbal stimuli. So that may be something as, hey buddy, can you hear me? We get no response, so I take my fingers, I stick them inside the casualty's hand and say, hey buddy, if you feel me squeezing here, squeeze back on my fingers. And he elicits a response. Or if that doesn't work, hey buddy, can you move your left arm? Can you move your hand for me? And if we see that he is following our commands, at this point he is responsive to verbal stimuli. It doesn't mean that he has to be verbal to us, it just means that he is following our verbal commands and doing what we ask him to do. If we get no response there, we're going to move on to our painful stimuli. So something to note with the painful stimuli is it's very injury dependent, right? So one of the things that is taught most often is a sternal rub, right? So you take your knuckles, you place it on the casualty's sternum, and you push down hard, and you're trying to elicit some sort of response. You know, whether your casualty grimaces, whether they withdraw and pull away from you. However, if the patient has, torso injury, thoracic injury, something like that, we probably would not want to push down on where the injury was located, right? So at that point with our casualty, we would assess different areas for painful stimuli, right? I might take my thumb and my index finger here and pinch the casualty's earlobe. I might pinch the nair. I might take a nail bed on the finger or the toe and pinch there and see if I can elicit a response. If he grimaces, makes kind of a squished up face, or maybe the patient withdraws from me altogether and we elicited a painful response. Now if all else fails, we've covered our A, we've covered our V, and now we've covered our painful response. We don't get anything with any of those first three, then we're going to document on our DD Form 1380 in our S block under signs and symptoms, where you write in your vital signs there's a section that's labeled AVPU, and at that point, if we didn't elicit any response, we would just check him U, and he is unresponsive.